Hey everyone, welcome back to another one here. Got some coffee shop footage today. I believe this was at the end of June. I can tell because I had a mustache back then. And I have a full beard again now. Just a fun little detour, facial hair wise. But anyway, we got our, as you can see, Nan light there, the 300. Incredible light. It's my first 300 and it's a bylight, so it's like that's crazy. Yeah, and we're here to do some food photography. And I'm just gonna run down the gear list now while we're already talking about it. I got that light and this softbox Easy Glow is actually for photography. um, I have a small rig octagon, but it's only like 23, and I believe this is like a 30 something. So we wanted the largest light possible to get that good diffusion. I rented an 85 1.8 for my beautiful Z6 II, and I used to follow the Byte YouTube a lot, and I've seen from other few sources saying that 100 is the typical like best to show like the most, I guess, realistic proportions for food and stuff like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was out of stock when I rented. Shout out Rent Glass in Overland Park, Kansas City. They're the best. So we also we're just setting up here, trying to get it so no one trips over anything. But yeah, we're just setting up for the light, and we're using the DJI. It's funny how everyone says DJI, but the Action 4 is what I use for all BTS footage. Honestly, it's not. I think it's great for this. I think I could have gotten something else, maybe like the Insta360, but I feel like this is great. This is just me messing with the settings. It was literally the first time using it, so I was just like, you know what, we'll just do it live. And then trying out the Nanlite app, which is actually very intuitive, just as easy as really any other like app, like Aperture or the DJI. Yeah, we're just setting up here now. We're just explaining because they were asking me if I wanted like any ice in the cups or anything, and I was just like, no, we actually don't need any ice because I'm just trying to see how the light falls on the cups. I'm just trying to get them in the right spot, and try to get some of that, the coffee shop background in as well. I try my best to not record people without, their explicit consent. They did know that I was recording, but I just try not to include people because, who wants to be recorded on a random Tuesday, So yeah, this is just me checking out. This ended up being on a tripod, so I was just trying to really figure out the best way to go. I believe I had the light maybe at 10%, and I try to motivate it as much as possible with the light being outside, so I didn't want to do too much, but it was kind of a gloomy and dark day if you saw the beginning. So yeah, I feel like I got to a point where I was pretty happy with it. Also, just a note here that I didn't really have time to like set up my camera in the best place for BTS and all that, which I typically haven't been able to do. So there's just going to be some abrupt transitions. And there's going to be one coming up here really throughout it. But I went from setting it on the table to putting it on top of my camera for a pretty fun POV position. And so, yeah, this is just me setting up for that. We did do the clear one first. This is for the caramel macchiato. We did end up doing 2 shots, which I had to actually Photoshop wizarded up these coffee beans, which I thought was a good idea to begin with, and then it was just a pain because I ended up photoshopping the top half of this shot and the bottom half of without the coffee beans, because it looked better before the pour than after. So and I was just explaining, how to stay in the frame, and when to pour to get out of the shot. And then I was like, well, do we really need to pour caramel afterwards? Because typically that caramel macchiato gets caramel drizzle on top. And they're like, no, we don't really feel like that's necessary. So pour that, camera's rolling, and then yeah. So the coffee settled. I was just like, hey, check out these shots. Let me know what you think. And then we're like, okay, now let's get the coffee beans out of the way and do normal shot. And then that is when afterwards, I was like, man, I really should have just not done it at all. But hey, shouts out editing skills on being able to do that. And I think it turned out pretty great. All this work is on my website, actually, if you want to go check that out. Links down below. And I really need to start posting all of my work on Instagram too. I've only posted it here on YouTube. So I really feel like, like I should start doing that more. And then we're going to go into the next transition here, which is going to be the latte art shot. And we went back and forth about this, and I was just telling him, I was like, hey, we really just need to fill it up with water since the foam is the most important part, So we did that. We got that nice pour there, and me just testing my lights, seeing how it's looking. And then, she went in and got the cinnamon. And then I feel like I did a pretty good job editing this as well. One thing I had no idea about was the cinnamon that settled into the foam and got wet. So I actually had to go in. You can kind of see it at the bottom of the cup there. Yeah, it was a neat little challenge I've never done before. We did 2 of these, but I feel like that was the better of the 2, so I only included that one. And then finally, so I actually forgot to record a lot of the actual food items. So you hear this is a tail end, and this is the cheese that we try to get more, melted, more of a ooze going on. But I did do muffins before this, and I did do a burrito before this as well. So that was a little, I was just like, damn it. So towards the end of this clip, the GM, he's just like, hey, you doing with this burrito? And I'm just like, oh, actually, I need to be on camera so people know I took a picture of it. So I'm just trying to channel my inner food stylist here, because I'm just trying to get the perfect, angle. Try to get that cheese oozing a little more. Trying to get the bun, a little rounded, English muffin rather. But yeah, I think this came out really well. I feel like I've definitely gotten better at Photoshop, 100%. But I also just learned a lot about shooting on location. But yeah, and then this was the burrito that I shot. I don't know if that was a cough or a dap. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.